right. You were here this morning. We're going to welcome you again to Youth Sunday. We've got a lot of kids up here that have really worked hard on getting this ready. So y'all bear with us. We're still going to mess up. We're going to mess up. So anyway, just give us look here and turn to page 251 at Calvary.
Nothing can forsake. Brother Wendell, would you pray over this offering?
Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for the many blessings that you have stored for each of us. Father, take this offering and use it for your will. Father, I ask you to bless each one here, bless our youth and our leaders, and bless each one. All these things that's your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So our message for this Youth Sunday is unity. And I brought a verse, Ephesians 2:22, that kind of summed up unity for me. It says, "In whom ye also are builded together for an habitation of God through the Spirit." What that means, if I had to put it in my words, are that even though everybody is made different and have different parts, they all come together, and when we all do come together, we can lift God's name high.
Amen.
I try to fit you in the walls inside my mind. I try to keep you safely in King of the world.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, I have a verse about, or a couple verses about our theme as well. 1 Corinthians 12:22 through 27. These are my favorite verses over unity. Much. This is not the version. Nay, much more, those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor. And our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. And our comely parts have no need, but God hath tempered the body together, hath given more abundant honor to that which lacked. That there should be no schism in the body, but the members should have the same care one for another. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it, or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. Now you are the body of Christ and members in particular. Okay, so these verses mean a lot to me because they explain how, although we may all be different and we all have different talents like singing or preaching or teaching, we all come together to lift God's name higher and to do things for Him.
Amen.
As the youth comes up and gets ready for the skit, I would like to introduce it. We have worked really, really hard on all of this Youth Sunday. And we've had a couple setbacks and a lot of bumps in the roads. Had attitudes, tears, you name it, we've got it. But we all came together. And it may have been close to last moment, but we all came together to pull through.
Amen.
And so we would like to give you all just a little bit of insight to what some of our practices could have been like, and also to give a little insight to how we all made it work and come together through God. Thank you.
I don't get why you always have to have all the solos and all the solos.
I don't know either.
It's not fair. I mean, at least we let other people have a chance.
Well, it's not my fault. They just keep on giving them to me.
Well, maybe you should say something.
Are y'all seriously having this attitude today again?
Sorry, she keeps on complaining about it.
Whatever, you'll both complain all the time.
It's not my fault. She started it this time.
Whatever. You always start it. You always have something to complain about.
True.
What time is it? Where are Abigail and Adam?
I don't know.
We're here right on time, 6:30, right?
No, 6. It's always 6, Abigail, not 6:30.
I thought it was 6:30.
You always think it's 6:30.
I don't think I was late.
Well, you don't think anything, Abigail. You never think.
Like, do you have any room to talk?
Oh, whatever. I'm not coming up with all this.
Oh, so you're just going to take all of the credit?
I can take all the credit if I did it all.
Now look who's arguing.
I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you what you are doing wrong.
At least we was here on time.
Whatever. They were here 30 minutes late. I was here right at 6.
Technically, we walked in before you did. You just started complaining because we was arguing.
Yeah, no, I haven't been doing anything today. No, really. I hadn't got anything accomplished. No. Alright, well, I gotta go to this stupid practice up here at church. I'll talk to you later. Alright, so.
We could hear you, just so you know.
Y'all,
Stupid practice? Do you not want this to go
no,
right?
that's not what I meant by it at all.
Well, yeah, I'm
That's
sure.
not what I meant. I've been tied up all day. I've had projects going
just
on.
not really doing anything.
So,
Harry, chill.
I can't be chill when no one is doing what they're supposed to.
Okay, none of us are doing what we're supposed to because this is supposed to be a practice. How about let's talk about youth Sunday stuff? What music are we going to use?
I thought we was doing that song dance skit thing from God's Not Dead.
I'd say we just do some contemporary music. It is youth Sunday. We don't need to do like a
Yeah.
y'all can sing those 7, 11 songs if you want to. But I'm doing hymns.
Don't hate the appreciate it.
Ricky, you have never to talk. You're not involved in this anymore.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah,
Just get a whole lot of
Okay, guys, okay. Let's see what skit we're going to do, okay? Because maybe we can find something to agree on.
Not a Perry's in the room.
Whatever. I'll just come up with all this, and y'all can sit back and watch.
Sounds like a plan.
Or are you supposed to do a one-woman show? That's going to turn out great.
It'd turn out better if people would actually help.
Maybe if you were more agreeable.
Okay, I thought we were going to do the I Can Only Imagine dance.
We're not doing that.
Harry, if you lose your attitude, we might could get some more.
I wouldn't have an attitude if people wouldn't have an attitude first.
Seriously, what skill are we gonna do?
Okay, I've got something we can all agree on. How about we do a reenactment of Free Willy?
Yeah, and Perry could be the whale.
You guys are making me so
Hey,
mad.
come here. Sit back down. All right, y'all listen. Y'all just blowing this way out of proportion. Okay, let's actually act like adults instead of high schoolers for a little while. Okay. 1 Corinthians 12 through 13. The human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. Some of us are Jews, some are Gentiles, some are slaves, and some are free. But we have all been baptized into one body by one Spirit, and we all share the same Spirit. So, in other words, teamwork makes the dream work. I don't care what color you are, or if you're buddies or not, but we're doing this for God. So we need to just go with this. Distract us right now.
Yeah, you know, for once, Marshall actually has a point. Romans 12:4-5 says, "For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Christ, and every one members one of another." So yeah, he's right. We all do play different parts. You know, Abigail sings, Perry complains. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we all have different parts, and we just need to come together and do the best that we can do.
Let's go get it done.
I'll tell you what, these kids have really been working hard, haven't they?
Amen.
And if I wasn't the only one that probably knew the speaker other than his family that came with him today, I wouldn't be up here. I'd be looking for it. But we have a young man who's going to speak for us today that I wasn't there the first time I know he was speaking, me behind the pulpit, but he was so little, they had to stack up boxes for him to stand on for him to sit on. Ty, we moved it out of your way today. But really, he's 17 years of age, but speaks well beyond his years. Tom Perry's going to come back up in just a minute and just a second and do some verses. As soon as she sits down, that's when we'll have you come speak. But y'all make welcome and give your attention to Ty Rhodes today. Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to do my business now. I have Ephesians 4:4-7. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, through all, and in you all. But to each one of us, grace was given according to the measure of Christ's gift. This, to me, just means that we are all different. We all have different gifts that God gave us, but we all come together to do it all this special gift that we are so passionate about, and when we come and do it for him, we can really see it. And he just, if you'll just listen to him, he will guide you, and you can come together and lead more people to him.
Just so y'all know, I am from around here. Some of y'all may know me, some of y'all may not. I'm Ty Rhodes. I'm from over around Horatio. Today I'm just going to I'm going to kind of talk a little bit, because if preaching worked, we wouldn't need this, because they preach here twice a week already. So I'm going to pray for you, and then I'm going to just talk to you for about 20 minutes, and then we'll stop. This message is kind of directed towards the youth. Bob told me this was Youth Sunday, so I figured I'd direct kind of the youth message. I'm going to talk to you for about 18, 20 minutes, and we'll give you a chance to respond to what I said. I put a lot of prayer into this. I never talk to people of the same age as me about something like this. There's some things I'm going to share with you today that you probably you've heard about, maybe you've experienced, or maybe not, I don't know. But I'm going to share a story with you today about a boy. You guys need to hear some things today. I think they'll change your life. If you're here for the first time, I don't know if they have Rick Lawrence not swinging church here, but I'm sure they do just by looking. But today's going to be a little different. I'm going to try to put a seed in some hearts. Let it go. Pray with me. Father, I ask you right now to use me. In front of me are sitting challenges, God, and problems that I didn't face, Lord. In front of me are children that are confronted with decisions that I have never had to make, God. Definitely not at an age that they're having to make them at. In front of me is a group of youth that are being forced to make decisions that they aren't, at ages that they aren't ready for, God. And the fact is, God, that most of these people go to church weekly. And almost get numb to the preacher force and numb to what we do here, God. So I pray today, God, that not be the case, Lord. I pray that their desire for something new would be so great, along with the anointing that's on my life would meet, and something powerful would happen, God, in this building today. And I pray that you will use me to make a difference, God. Not a 2-day difference, not a until we meet here again difference, but an eternal difference, God. In this church's youth life. So we agreed together, and you say that if any of us agreed on earth, that it shall be done in heaven, God. And everybody says we agreed together. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm going to read a scripture. You may not know what it means, but I'm going to tell you what it means. And I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not going to preach at you and give you a bunch of long concepts that you care less about. If you give me a little bit of your attention, I believe we get something out of this today. There's a scripture out of Isaiah 10:27. And it says, "It shall come to pass in that day that his burden will be taken away from your shoulder and his yoke from your neck. And the yoke will be destroyed because of the anointing oil." Some of you may not know what the word anointing means. Some of you may not care what it means. But today, you know, anointing sounds like a preacher word or maybe a church word. But today I'm not going to talk to you about anointing. I'm going to talk to you about the yoke. Most of y'all youth may not know what a yoke is. Today they farm with tractors, farm equipment. But in the day that we're reading about in the Bible, an ox is what you call a beast of burden. The ground would get real hard, they would pull a plow, turn the ground over and get the rich soil to come to the top. Well, they didn't have John Deere, Massey Ferguson, or New Holland or something like that to do it with. They had an ox. And they had this big plow, and the ox was the only beast strong enough to pull the plow. So what they would do is, they would put this thing called a yoke around this ox's neck whenever he was a baby, because whenever he got so big that he was grown, he was too large to control. So they put this yoke around his neck whenever he was a baby, and as he grew, the yoke was all that the ox knew. So he respected that. As the ox grew in size and grew in age, because it had been yoked so early, he respected the yoke in a later season. You can understand me, they would yoke it at an early age so that it would be controlled by the yoke at a later age. And in this verse, God is coming to His people and He's saying, He's coming to the people of Israel and the Assyrians had become their yoke. And the Assyrians had become the ones that controlled them. And God is basically saying, I'm not going to allow them to control you. And just like the ox is controlled by the yoke, that control that those people are trying to have on you, on my people of Israel, He said, my power and my anointing will just break the yoke and remove the burden. Because the ox had a yoke and the ox pulled a burden. The devil is no different. What the enemy is trying to do is get something around you early while it's fun, so that in another season it becomes your burdens. Your moms and dads or grandpas or whoever you come to church with, they aren't going to tell you this because they probably don't want you to know, but the reason they're here is to undo what they done when they were your age. Not a lot of them, but most of them. Because our age is an age that we involve ourselves in things that at the moment the enemy is just slowly closing the noose. There's people in this room that wonder where they'd be if they never had that yoke around their neck. Because what the enemy does is he yokes you now so that later in life that yoke drives your passions. It makes your decisions for you. Because you're obeying the yoke. And you can't live your life the way you want because of the yoke. Because the yoke tells you what to do. The yoke makes your decisions, your bad decisions, your good decisions, whatever decisions you make revolves around the yoke. Drives your passions. The yoke makes you hang out with the wrong people. So in other words, you want to make the right decisions, but there's this yoke. And it was fun in this day, but now you used to control the yoke, but now the yoke controls you. Because what you do in this season of life with a drug to feel good, 15 years from now you're going to have to do it to eat. You're going to have to do it to wake up. You have to do it to not lose your mind or flip out. And if you make a paycheck, if you can hold a job, you make $400 and you owe somebody $200. Why? Because you used to hold the yoke, but now the yoke holds you. And why you play with this stuff? While you think it's fun, there's an enemy behind it. He's just saying, just a few more clicks and I'll have the yoke secured around you. Just a little more. Just a little bit more and I'll have them for life. Just a couple more times. Just if I can close the deal their senior year, I'll tear up their future. I'll tear up their marriage. I'll make their children hate them. They'll be paying child support to 7 different times. I'll rip their life out from the bottom up. I'll make them hate themselves. I'll make them look up in the mirror and despise their image. If I can just get them to play with this yoke just a little bit longer. Until you hear it click. This is a preacher telling this story. And it says, so the fall of the season, this is whenever a lot of parents are dropping their kids off for school or dropping their kids off. Some kids start college maybe, or football, or maybe this is baseball season. I don't know, I'm homeschooled, I don't get into all that. But this is where a lot of activities come in time right here in the fall. Well, the preacher says, he says, you know, I didn't drop my kid off at college. We're not going to be going to football practice this year. He didn't get his first job this year. He said, I dreamed of all that too. He said, but you know what I did last week? He said, I dropped my kid off at a 1-year rehabilitation center. He said, it ain't been too fun at my house the last 2 years. He said, because y'all look at me and y'all say, you know, man, you got the world by the tail. You preach a lot. You must just be swell. All is swell. He said, I had to postpone 2 court orders against him just so they would let him go. He said, I thought I cried all I could cry. He said, but whenever I hugged him and told him bye, I cried so deeply I was unable to make sound. He said, I'm not a jerk of a father. He said, I mean, if they wanted to do it, then we done it. And I thought that was good. Like, a lot of kids didn't get to do whatever they wanted to do. But He said, I've never abandoned my kids or anything like that. He said, I'm sitting here scratching my head like, how in the world did I get here? He said, in all the Jesus videos and all the devotions and all the pleading the blood and all the scripture memory and all the church services and all the youth conferences, he said, I was broken. He said, I was angry. He said, I didn't sow for this. He said, when I left him, he was in the bushes throwing his guts up, coming off of withdrawals. He said, he called me the day before yesterday, and he was so excited, he could keep down a half a hot dog. He said, I raised a son to serve the Lord, and we're celebrating the fact that he can eat a hot dog. He said, this is where we are. He said, Dad, I ate a hot dog today. This guy's a preacher. He said, my guts are ripped out of me. He said, so whenever I stand up there on Sunday morning and I say, give the Lord a praise, you have no idea what my praise has costed me. So when the kid was 12 years old, somebody handed him something. And it was fun. But the devil had his hand around it. And so began the process of the yoke closing. And he would get in trouble and he'd say, Daddy, I got this. I can quit any time I want to. And he'd get caught again. And he'd drown it. And he'd say, Daddy, I don't understand this. He said, all my buddies are doing it, and they get caught. They're not getting grounded, and they still get to go do the stuff they want to do. He said, I began over the last year to be awakened every morning to a kid that throws up every day before he goes to school. He said, I watched him lose weight. You could just see right through him. 6 car wrecks in a year and a half. Go to bed every night with that 3 o'clock in the morning phone call waiting on him. He said, this is my son. He said, you know, we went on a family vacation to Florida, and while we was there, he thought he had to have some, so he bought some bad stuff off of somebody, and he took it. And I found him thrown up in the guy's room across from us, went to my room and he had thrown up in there, so now I had to pay for my hotel plus the other guy's hotel, and now he's about to go to jail. Oh yeah, and they kicked us out of the hotel. He says, then we get home and I get a stomach bug. And the night I had the stomach bug, I was called. My son was found passed out in the parking lot at 20 to 2 in the morning. And I sent someone to get him because I got to preach the next morning. And they called me and said that he jumped out of their car hallucinating and took off at 20 to 2 in the morning. He said, so I had to get up 4 hours before I had to get up to go to church at 2 o'clock in the morning, run find him and chase him through a gated community half naked at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I held him in somebody's front yard 4 hours before church started because he didn't know who he was and he didn't know where he was. We aren't having fun anymore. And so after thousands of dollars of rehab and legal fees and pretty much being financially drained, spiritually drained, I plead with the judge, give me one last shot said, so I'm believing for the best as I watch a human nuclear bomb full of potential try his best to break the yoke off his neck and remove the burden. He started hanging around guys that were a lot older than him. They were of age. They were in their 20s. He was a teenager. And they'd go have a good time, and they'd use him, and he'd get in trouble. He said, I had to go pick him up at a bar down the road here one night. I don't know how he got in. I had a fight with the manager about that. I don't know how he got served by 3 different waitresses and never got carded. So him and all his homies had him a tab. Well, they left him with a $463 bill. He had not a dime to his name. And his friends that left him with this bill, whom he will fight me for, they his buddies. By the way, they're at home, you're in jail. See, when it's first handed to you, it doesn't come looking like a yoke. But now it's, I can't eat if I don't do it. He put down his first goal whenever he walked into the program. It was to eat a meal without drugs. His dad said, I saw it turn him into somebody that I don't even know. I'm going to talk straight for a minute, Mom and Dad. I don't need you to wig out on them if they respond to this. Because if they respond to this, this ain't the time to go home and ground them. By doing that, you're going to ensure that anything that is going on in their life from now on, they're never going to tell you. Let me tell you, everything I'm about to tell you is going to happen if you're doing this stuff that doesn't stop. Pornography is rampant in this group of kids right here. It's not even the click of a computer no more. It's the click of a phone. And the devil's saying, just a few more clicks. Just a few more clicks. He said, I'll mess his mind up now. And then there's going to come a time when it ain't fun no more, when it's your burden. This man said, I caught my son at an ATM. He said, I was working a job on a shutdown, and we had lockers. He said, we put all of our stuff in our lockers, and we changed into the clothes that they were making us wear, fireproof clothes, and he said, my manager come down there and he said, hey, we give Chase your keys. He said, not too long. He said, I caught him at the ATM machine. He said, he was shaking. He said, I asked him, what are you doing, son? He said, Daddy, I owe people money. He said, I saw my 18-year-old and I just cried. He said, I had to turn my back on him. I said, I can't help you. He said, you got to do this on your own. And he said, why? I said, because you bring me to a place where I cannot help you anymore. Only God can help you. Amen. The fact is, your parents can be Mr. Perfect Dad and Mrs. Perfect Mom. Or your grandparents can be Mr. Perfect Grandpa or Mrs. Perfect Grandma. Or whoever you live with can be like the perfectest people you've ever met in your entire life. But the yoke around your neck doesn't come down to them, it comes down to you. And I'm telling you what God told me today, because I don't know, I know probably a handful of people in here. God does though. God knows you. Your mom and dad have drug you to church, probably till you're numb to it. The preacher's voice is like an annoyance to your ear. Roll your eyes when the music's playing. You're ready to put your iPod in your ears and start pumping it full of all those bad songs. And you have no idea what kind of core you're creating for yourself and anybody around you. Now, why did I read that verse? Because no matter what you may have been through, started, created, or may already have the power over you. The power of God destroys the yoke and removes the burden. And God sent me to tell all the young people this morning, He said that if you will respond, put your pride down, put what everybody's going to think about you down, what your girlfriend, boyfriend thinks about you down, and understand that you have something around you about to click that will drive your decisions for the rest of your life. That if you will respond, just don't let that thing control you no more. Some of us in this room know what it feels like to be controlled by something. That ain't what we want for nobody. I've preached several sermons about enemies, and I have to believe that my enemies are going to set me up. Amen. So if you have opened the door, there's a devil behind you and he's waiting on that one day when you get just far enough in there that he can close that door right behind you. When he does, he locks it. And it becomes your controller and you become its slave. And every decision you make will revolve around that yoke. But if you got the guts to say, I'm going to be honest with you, brother. It's around me. I've experienced it. I've experimented with it. I'm hanging around people that are doing it. I've done it myself. Some of you put your toe in it, some of you are neck deep in it. If you got the guts to say, I don't want to live like what you just described. I don't want this thing to get me early and control me for the rest of my life. If you heard me today, if you haven't, don't come just because somebody else is coming. Because it don't mean nothing. You're just playing a game and you're going to go on back out there and do your thing. If what I just told you about a very good kid who had a dad for a preacher, and had a very good home, had very good training, and you wrecked it anyways, it's shaking you, and you're saying nothing about what you just described is appealing to me in any way. And I want to break this thing. I want you to knock whatever you got to knock out of your way. And I want you to hit the altar as she comes into place. kid had an opportunity for whatever he wanted to do. He had everything laid out there for him. Had a dad for a preacher. His mom, part of the church, writes books for a living, Christian books. And he was a drug head. So, if you don't think that it can happen to you or happen around you, I'm going to bet that you're wrong. It can happen anywhere. The devil doesn't care where you're at. It's kind of like Brother said a while ago. He said, God's fishing, but the devil's fishing too. I want to tie this into unity a little bit. Okay, so we're talking about a kid, body of Christ. This is temporary body. Okay. Why would you want to do something like that to the body of Christ?
Page 69, and decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. No, not go with me, I still will follow. No, not go with me, I still will follow. No, not go with me,
You heard the preaching.
I
It's
still
convicted
will
your heart this morning, and I would encourage you. Step out from where you are and come to this office. Ty shared a lot of very important things to us.
cross I'll
Every one of us
carry
will.
till I see
A very nice home. We have very nice parents that we try to teach them right. But yet we can realize, we can relate to the things that Ty has said. So how easily that the devil will take a hold of us, will take control of your life. Would you come this morning? We're going to sing one other verse.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back.
Amen. Amen. What an awesome, awesome youth service today.
Amen.
I tell you what, if your heart hasn't been touched today, you definitely need to be in the altar. Because these kids have touched on some things today that probably has been untouched in a long time. It was Skip, what the kids did. Just real life.
Amen.
You know, I really persuaded to believe that probably most of those things that they were talking about, a lot of those things probably did happen. You know, we become ununified and trying to be unified together. Then when Tom preached the message, I thought, my goodness, his cowboy ways are not going to reach out to some of our folks. But I was wrong.
Amen.
You see, it doesn't make any difference whether you're a cowboy or whether you're a city folk. Sin gets us all.
Amen.
But that's okay. Because the only one that can take it away is Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And He takes it away to the cowboy and the city folks.
Amen.
And we'll give Him the honor, the glory, and the praise. Let us pray together. Heavenly Father, as we come before You, we thank You, Lord, But you've given us this wonderful opportunity to be able to come together. Lord, I thank you for the job that the youth has done today. And Lord, even though we think that they're sitting back and not paying attention to how things are going and how to run your service, and Lord, maybe we're concerned about our future, but Lord, what I've seen today is that I've seen youth Lord, I've seen the youth, they've reached into their heart and they've poured out the things that you touched them with.
Amen.
And I thank you for it. Lord, I just pray that you be with this time of fellowship that we're about to have, and that you would bless all the food to our bodies, and Lord, everything that's been done to here today. Lord, that it would change our heart, it would change our direction. And we ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I know it's been a long time, but I'm gonna do one other thing just real quick. We got Perry up here. Hey, would you come up here for a second? And if you taught a class this morning, would you please come up to the front? A lot of what you saw here happened during the service. You saw them carrying out a lot of their part, but I'm going to tell you there was a lot of things that went on behind the scene that you didn't see. Because our kids not only took over the youth service today, the worship service, but they also taught our Sunday school classes. They took up the offering. They did Hayden back there doing a wonderful job on the computer, throwing everything up on the screen. And so we just want to say thank you to our youth. They really made a big difference. Aubrey, she worked up on the bulletin and got our bulletin together for us. You know, a lot of things just going on. And again, I'm very proud of them for everything that they've done. So let's give them a round of applause.